In this screencast, I'm going to show you how you can use Google Classroom with your students to have discussions, whether it be discussions about books or you want them to reflect on what they've learned, any kind of discussion you could allow them to have on Google Classroom. So the first place you're going to go is down in the bottom right corner where we went to create an announcement, and click on that plus sign. And you're going to go up to the question mark and it says create question. When you click on it, this box pops up. And again, just like the announcements where it says post in, if I had more than one class and I wanted to post this question in there, I could click on that and post it in all of these. That might be beneficial, like if you're working as a grade level, you could each have your separate classes with students so that the students aren't all in one class, but you could add each other as teachers so that if one week one person wanted to post a discussion question, they could post it to all your classes if you invited them to be a teacher in your class. So that's just an option to make it more convenient for you so that you could take turns creating the assignments by being teachers in each other's classrooms, but still keeping your students separated into each of the classrooms. So then this top line is where you put the question, and I'm just going to do something basic. Please introduce yourself to the class. The next line says instructions, and those are optional. I'm going to leave it blank for now, but if you wanted your students to have specific directions, maybe something they have to include in their discussion, in their response to the question, then you can put it in there. Right here is for the due date. In the computer lab, I don't use a due date, but in your classroom, you might, especially if you want to use the discussion as a grade for them, you might want a due date. And then the topic, this I'm going to leave as no topic. I still have the math topic from when I created the announcement before, or you can create a new topic, whatever your question is about. I'm going to leave this as short answer, but you could also make a multiple choice thing, like if you wanted to use a poll for something. But if you just want a discussion, leave that at short answer. This button right here allows students to reply to each other. Sometimes you might just want to turn that off if you want the students to answer a question, but you don't want a class discussion. If you want a class discussion, make sure you leave that on so that they can talk to each other about the topic. And then over here is where students can edit answer. I personally like to leave it off, and then if they want to add more, they can go back in and add in more comments to the discussion. But again, that's personal preference and based on what you're doing with your discussion. Now there are some little icons down here, and we'll do more with those when I show you how to create an assignment. But let's say you had a document either saved onto your computer or saved into your drive, and you wanted them to view that, and then maybe it's something they need to read and then talk about it in this discussion. So you can, if it's something like, let's say in Microsoft Word that's saved on your computer, you can click on the paperclip there and upload the file. If it's something in your Google Drive, you can click on that. This symbol right here is for YouTube. Maybe you want your students to watch a video and then have a class discussion. So you could put a video in there. And then this is for a link if you want them to look at a website and then discuss it on here. And again, we'll get more into these symbols when we go to create an assignment. If you decide you don't like this discussion and you want to get rid of it, you click the little trash can. If you want to post it, you click ask. This little arrow right here allows you options if you want to ask which means it posts right away. Schedule allows you to schedule it for a later time. So let's say tomorrow afternoon you want your kids to start this discussion, but you don't want them to see it ahead of time, since the kids really have access to this to their accounts wherever they have internet access. So you could schedule it so that it won't appear until the time you want it to appear, and then you don't have to remember at that time to post it. And then you could save a draft if you don't have time to finish typing this up and you want to come back to it later. But I'm going to go ahead and ask this and let it post to my classroom. And that is how you can create a question to start a class discussion in Google Classroom.